So we thought, oh, we'll go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all of them.
I heard about it.
Because I'm telling you, I got talent. Like,
this is when I knew Eminem was real. It's like, I don't give a man. This is when I knew, I'm like, damn, Eminem is a real
The rap legends who've been around for a while now aren't really out there flaunting street cred or broadcasting gang affiliations left and right. They keep things mysterious, low-key, almost impossible to decode if you're not in the know.
That goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Y'all just laugh and y'all joke about Hammer. No. That.
And while new school rappers often spill every detail about their supposed gang ties in their music, the OGs have a different vibe. Quiet, focused on the craft, maybe even more intimidating for it, like they're holding back something powerful. But here's the twist. Some of those gangsters out there might be reading these rap legends all wrong, brushing them off as if they're not street enough, or dismissing them as fake gangsters.
When I write the aggressive material, they go, oh, I'm feeling that. Because they know I come from that. You know what I mean? And even think of the worst guys that you know. They know me really good.
That low profile could be giving off the wrong message, making people misjudge them entirely. And yet, these rap icons never let you forget. They may have moved on from the streets, but the streets, they're forever etched in them. Without beating around, here are times situations went horribly wrong with gangsters misjudging legend rappers. First off was this situation that almost got 50 out of his element. If there's one thing everyone knows about 50 Cent, it's that he's not the guy you want to cross. This man's got serious history, a real legacy in gang culture that doesn't need constant broadcasting but still speaks volumes to anyone paying attention. So sometime back, 50's out having a quiet dinner with Nicki Nicole, just enjoying the night, no drama in sight, when on the way out, things take an unexpected turn. Out of nowhere, this aspiring rapper who's also got some ties to gang culture crosses paths with him, eager to make an impression. But 50, he doesn't stop, doesn't even glance his way, and it's like a switch flips. The guy's ticked because all he wanted was a moment of 50's time to showcase his music, maybe get that break he's been chasing. Tensions flare up real fast, and suddenly it's like these two are ready to face off.
hit me because I'm telling you I got talent.
The guy, clearly fuming, straight up asks 50 if he's about to get punched in the face, like he's daring him or hoping for some kind of reaction. But 50, in true 50 style, isn't fazed and barely even reacts, which only fuels the guy's frustration. He starts calling 50 out, throwing accusations about how it's messed up he won't give him a shot.
That's fucked up. But look at my IG at least. Look at my IG at least. That's some
Meanwhile, his friend's recording the whole thing, almost egging him on, all in the hopes that 50 might listen to his music. And finally, 50's had enough. He steps up and gives the guy a serious reality check, laying it out for him that the attitude he had was a dead end and that nobody's going to take him seriously if this is his approach.
This shit is not gonna work. How's it gonna work? You know it's not gonna work. You know why? Because you're stupid. The way you're approaching it is wrong. How? First with the CD or album? Nah, what the f***? There's nothing to play right now. There's nothing you can show me right.
Thankfully, 50 keeps it chill. No punches thrown, no fight breaking out, but man, it could have ended so differently. This guy had no clue who he was messing with because in the world 50 comes from, he's handled far more dangerous situations. We're talking about serious players like Supreme Team's kingpin Kenneth McGriff, who allegedly wanted him out of the picture so badly it led to 50 getting shot in 2000. Rumor has it McGriff was so determined he wouldn't rest until there was no trace of 50 left for anyone to remember.
When I write the aggressive material, they go, oh, I'm feeling that. Because they know I come from that. You know what I mean? And even think of the worst guys that you know. They know me really good.
Next, we have the forever controversial legend of his time, MC Hammer. If there's ever one rap legend who defied expectations in every possible way, it'd be MC Hammer, because he was unpredictable. He was a guy who'd surprise you if you dared cross him. Sure, Hammer had his wild success with catchy, polished hits, those iconic parachute pants, and his super smooth dance moves, but he wasn't exactly the picture of gangster rap, right? In fact, the guy was criticized for his clean-cut, mainstream image, repetitive lyrics, and heavy sampling, and he became an easy target for jokes, and even got dissed by other rappers who thought he was too commercial.
And he's not even doing the fake rap that he do. He got his homeboy screaming all his vocals, and he's just jumping around, you know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
But here's the twist. Despite all that, Stanley Burrell, the man behind MC Hammer, had a serious edge that people seriously underestimated, and he had no problem showing it to anyone who tested him. Even the toughest rappers of hip-hop like Suge and Tupac have all recounted their experiences with Hammer. He was a flame.
So we thought, oh, we'll go with the church boy. We'll go with MC Hammer, but he was the most gangster one of all. I heard about it.
Take this legendary story with Redman. In the early 90s, MC Hammer was on top of the world. His album Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him was selling in insane numbers, breaking hip-hop records left and right. But because of his pop-friendly style, he rubbed a few purists the wrong way, Redman being one of them. Red didn't hold back his opinion in the Funky Uncles skit on his debut album, calling Hammer out in the rawest way possible. And well, Hammer heard it, and it did not sit right with him. When Hammer found out about it, he made it clear to the world that he took beef very seriously. According to Redman, Hammer wasn't all fun and flashy pants. Anyone who disrespected him or his family was in for a whole different side of him.
That goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Y'all motherfuckers laugh and y'all joke about Hammer. No. That
Years later, Redman found himself face-to-face with Hammer on Yo MTV Raps. This was years after the skit, but Hammer hadn't forgotten a single word. He approached Redman, and dead serious, he recounted, "That came up to me on Yo MTV Raps. On the last episode they had," said Red, "that approached me. He was like, 'Red, I'ma tell you something. You young, but I don't allow nobody talking about my mama. You understand me?' Redman, feeling the weight of the situation, didn't hesitate to say, 'Yes, sir.' The whole encounter was a serious reminder that Hammer was no joke. Redman even recalled how he and his crew had nearly had a run-in with Hammer's people back in Oakland, describing how intense the Bay Area was and how they could feel the walls closing in on them. Hammer didn't play, and everyone around knew it. Years later, reflecting on it all, Redman couldn't stress enough that MC Hammer was not the guy to mess with. He wasn't just that flashy guy with the dance moves. Hammer had deep respect in the streets, and he'd handle things directly if you disrespected him. Redman put it simply, "N's think Hammer's a sucker. Hammer don't play. Hammer don't play. He dances and he's very athletic, and he'll whoop a NA." Red also noted how conciliatory he was at the Yo MTV Raps encounter, saying his response when Hammer expressed his dissatisfaction about Red's words about his mother was, "Yo, Hammer, man, you was big. Look, man, I ain't got no beef with you, my dude. You a OG. I'm a young cat." Then this incident between Eminem and Suge Knight. Eminem has always been the guy who's unafraid to speak his mind, calling out anyone and everyone without a second thought, but most people would have never pegged him for a gangster. He's all about the lyrics, right? Well, turns out a few people were way off base in underestimating him, especially when it came to some real confrontations with some of the most feared folks in the game. Tony Yayo, a G-Unit member, shared a wild story on Drink Champs that left everyone with a whole new perspective on M. Yayo took us back to the early 2000s, at the shoot for 50 Cent's iconic Indie Club video in LA, where things got intense in a way that no one saw coming. According to Yayo, Suge Knight, the notorious Death Row Records founder, rolled up to the set, and he didn't come alone. He showed up with an entire army of Mexican gangsters, all ready to intimidate and take control. The vibe instantly turned dark, and Yayo could tell they were in for something serious. Yayo painted a picture of just how intense it was, describing how these guys had face tattoos, which was way before that look became mainstream. He said, "You ain't never seen a with a tattoo on his forehead. 118th Street crew." I'm like, what the f***? They got a tattoo on his face, homie? That's the first time, like before Lil Wayne and all that, yeah? That's the first time I seen a with like tattoo on his eyes Mexican. The whole place was filled with tension and everyone was on edge, wondering how this was going to go down.
This is why I always respected Eminem, 50, and that was with us. So Suge came, he had some Mexican. Now we from New York. You ain't never seen a with a tattoo on his forehead. Got a tattoo on his face, homie. That's the first time, like before Lil Wayne and all that. Yeah. That's the first time I seen a with like tattoo on his eyes, Mexican. He's like a pressure guy. That's why he got into the got into lately, because he's.
But then, out of nowhere, Eminem, the not-so-gangster white rapper from Detroit, decided he wasn't about to let Suge and his crew run things. According to Yayo, M straight up walked over to Suge fearless and got in his face like, "I don't give a F, man." And that was the moment Yayo said he realized Eminem was the real deal. No act, no hype, just pure guts.
This is when I knew Eminem was real. He's like, "I don't give a f, man." This is when I knew, I'm like, damn, Eminem is a real.
But it doesn't stop there. Another former G-Unit member, Bang'em Smurf, shared his take on this showdown during an Instagram Live in 2023, throwing in some details that made the whole thing sound even more like a scene out of a gangster movie. Smurf mentioned that right before M stepped up to confront Suge, he actually put on a bulletproof vest, which just shows how heavy this situation was. Smurf, who happened to be getting a haircut in the trailer when things started to heat up, recalled how he'd gotten a call from Shaw Money XL saying, "Yo, Suge is on the set." And when he finally got outside, there was Eminem, standing firm with a vest on, ready to handle it. Smurf pointed out, Dre wasn't outside, 50 wasn't outside, but Eminem was outside with the vest on.
Oh yeah, Eminem came back with the vest. Yeah, Eminem was outside with it. Shout out to Eminem. Dre wasn't outside, 50 wasn't outside, but Eminem was outside.
And that's how Eminem, of all people, proved to everyone there that day that he wasn't just about talking big in his lyrics. And then we've got none other than Waka Flocka Flame, who found himself in a pretty wild situation way back in 2010 while he was just trying to shoot a music video with Gucci Mane, minding his own business and vibing on set. Out of nowhere, this random guy shows up and starts yelling all kinds of crazy stuff right at him, making the whole scene take a sharp turn. So apparently, Waka had ruffled some feathers, stepping on the wrong toes because the locals didn't seem too pleased about him being on their turf. There's this classic clip from World Star Hip Hop that shows the whole thing, and you can see this guy straight up storming the set, throwing insults at Waka without holding back. Turns out, these two had some bad blood between them, some beef that hadn't exactly cooled down over time, and the guy was clearly not thrilled to see Waka in his neighborhood. Now, if you watch the video closely, you'll catch on to the fact that the dudes rolling up on Waka are all decked out in Crips' signature blue, making it pretty obvious where their allegiances lay, and signaling that this was a bit more than a casual neighborhood argument. As things heated up, it really looked like Waka and this guy were on the verge of throwing down right then and there, with tensions flaring and the whole crew probably bracing for some kind of clash. But surprisingly, the whole thing fizzled out just in time. And thankfully, it didn't explode into an all-out brawl right in the middle of the music video shoot.
You know what? I need to go west side to the bullet, nigga. This square nigga, buddy. We out here eating, bro. We out here eating, bro. Crips, man. This shit way bigger than this, bro.
Still, if you think Waka was shaken up after that, think again. He barely even reacted, standing his ground as if this kind of confrontation was just another day at work for him. But that wasn't the end of it. Those Crip guys didn't seem ready to let things go that easily. They kept coming back at him, going off on him more than once after that incident, making it clear that they weren't too keen on Waka rolling into their hood without some sort of showdown. Despite all of it, Waka stayed unfazed, as if to say that nothing could rattle him, not even a face-off with some serious locals on their own turf. And then there was that time when Spider Lock and a crew of Crips decided to make a move on Lil Wayne's security team.
What happened? Niggas gonna get burned.
Spot a low shit. What's happening? Niggas talk all that cash shit. It's a Crip. Food check. Coach Crip.
It all kicked off after Lil Wayne dropped a verse on Shawty Lowe's Day No remix, where he seemed to throw some shade at the Crips.
And he had a lyric that said, "Suge gang, if you ain't with that, you from the food chain." Food chain, I'm thinking about school, the ocean, and you know what you find in the ocean. I thought he was sneak dissing.
Naturally, that didn't sit well with Spider Lock, who was already feeling the tension. According to Spider Lock, Lil Wayne rolled up to his area to shoot a music video with T-Pain, and it just so happened that Lock had a studio nearby. Now, ideally, Spider Lock wanted a one-on-one with Wayne to clear the air and see if that verse was truly meant as a diss. But instead of a quiet conversation, Spider Lock found himself in the middle of a pretty big crowd, which cranked up the intensity.
He came to shoot a video with T-Pain, and instead of me getting an opportunity to approach him one-on-one, I ended up being with a large group of individuals.
Things were on the edge of boiling over, with some of the guys ready to go after Lil Wayne's cars and even his security team. But just as things were about to turn ugly, the sound of police sirens cut through the air, and everyone decided it was time to make a quick exit. And believe it or not, that wasn't the last time the Crips would try to send a message to Lil Wayne. It seemed like he had earned himself some lasting attention from them. And then next, there's Charleston White, the guy who might as well have a PhD in stirring the pot, because if there's one thing you can count on from him, it's that he'll always find a way to kick up a storm, especially in places most people wouldn't dare to touch. See, Charleston's not the type to just throw out a few wild comments and call it a day. He goes all in, diving headfirst into gang culture with zero fear, as if he's on some kind of mission to call out and antagonize gang members who, if they really wanted to, could handle him in the blink of an eye. But somehow, despite taunting the biggest and baddest members from crews like the Crips and the Bloods, Charleston has managed to keep himself untouched, almost like he's got some affiliations that shield and protect him from all the heat he's invited. One particular interesting situation was when Charleston found himself in a full-on virtual face-off with a South Crip member.
Remember S.A. Nim put that hit out when y'all got into it with the Mexicans out there. You the world saw it. The world saw when you niggas called them Mexicans made y'all niggas sit down and go back to black.
It all started out pretty slow, almost like they were sizing each other up, feeling out the situation, but it didn't take long before things hit a boiling point. And right there on his live stream, Charleston didn't hold back. He straight up started calling out this guy repeatedly, and let's just say he wasn't using the most friendly language. He kept calling the dude a crab-aw ninja over and over again, pushing buttons like he had no idea, or maybe just didn't care, how easily that could turn bad.
Oh, you one of them crab-ass niggas. You crab-ass. Yeah, you one of them crab-ass niggas.
Then, just to make things even more chaotic, Charleston went down memory lane, bringing up this story about when the Mexicans supposedly put a hit out on the Crips. He's talking like, I remember when the Mexicans put the hit out on you Crip, and added in a little jab about how they had to stop wearing white t-shirts. It's the kind of talk that would have made anyone else take a step back, but Charleston kept piling it on, like he was on a roll. And then, as if things weren't already on the edge, he casually tossed in, just messing mate. Go back to K-ing black people, like he was just joking around, adding fuel to the fire, without a second thought. Now, most people watching might have thought, okay, that's the peak. Charleston's gotta stop now, right? But of course that wasn't the case. Charleston didn't just end the stream and walk away. He went right on, throwing more shade, joking about how the Crips didn't stand a chance when the Mexicans came for them, basically making sure the flames were thoroughly fanned. And while fans were flooding his comments and DMs, warning him to chill out before he got himself hurt, Charleston seemed completely unfazed. If anything, he looked like he was thriving on the thrill of it all, like the whole back and forth was just another day's entertainment for him. Then, in another live stream, Charleston was back at it, this time facing off with a different gangster who, at one point, pulled out a gun on him over the phone, saying, "I'ma catch ya B.A. ninja. I'm not playing B.A. ninja, I'ma catch you." Most people would get at least a little shaken by that, right? But not Charleston. He just brushed it off like it was all part of the show, laughing it off and even taunting the guy back. He responded with, "Ninjas who want ninjas, come get 'em. Bad ninjas, come get 'em. Come get me." Almost like he was daring them to follow through.
For you catch get niggas. Bad come get niggas. You come get me. Come get me. Come get me. Come get me.
It was seriously intense, and while tons of people probably assumed that Charleston had to have some serious backing or maybe even some hidden connections to keep him going strong, anyone who truly knows Charleston understands that he's just not the kind of guy you can scare off or push around, but ears is because he's built in a way that makes him completely unshakable. He's fearless, stubborn, and absolutely refuses to back down, no matter who's coming after him or what kind of threats are being thrown his way. There you have it. Please subscribe.